going back many years here, you mentioned Viper, and you started with those
Mhm.
guys really young. I think I remember you saying that you recorded the first album maybe when you were 15 or something like that. I mean, how raw was that going into the studio to
Very
record with
raw.
those guys?
That was funny. That was so funny. So really funny. Because, I mean, you can just imagine, we were a teenager metal band, a melodic metal band from Brazil, from South America. And honestly, if today there's still not so much um, room for metal bands in Brazil, of course, the market has grown a lot, and bands started to touring here more often and more often, and our own bands also became bigger and bigger. But back then, it was like we were seen as aliens, like what are those boys doing? What the fuck is that? I mean, so we found a producer, who invested some money in this first record. And then we have rented a studio, which was a kind of normal studio for pop music or whatever, samba, whatever Brazilian music they use it to record there. And there was also no producers available at all for this kind of music. There were the traditional producers of Brazilian music, but it's the same as if you say, I would in America I would have to hire some country folk, producer to make a metal album, which sometimes might even work out. But in our case back then, as teenagers, I mean, we didn't even think about it. But we knew there was something called producer that we should have in the album. So we called a friend of us who was the bass player in another band. He was a little bit older than us, a couple of years older than us, and supposedly he had a little bit more knowledge than us about the whole thing. Um, the whole record was done basically in a week, I think. It was like one, two, three, go, and the whole background was recorded like almost live. Then there were some overdubs for the solos and stuff, and then it was my part to do the voice in 2 or 3 days. And I remember the last days my voice was completely ruined. I had no technique at all back then, and I completely ruined my voice. So I had to record this last song called Age R, which translated means heavy rock. And we were even thinking about calling somebody else to sing it because I was not able to sing a single note. But then we said, we can do it a little bit more like punk rock like. So I could sing with my rough voice, which I was able to let go at that moment. So it was okay. In the end, it was okay. That was a curious thing.